everybody. Thank you all for coming today and helping us to commemorate Angelina's milestone of graduation. I was trying to think of what to say today, and hopefully we don't overlap because we're supposed to be tag teaming, but...
there was no coordination.
Yeah, there was no coordination. One thing that I thought of is that Angelina has such a God-given gift of dexterous digits. And she's used that in so many ways over the years. She's done art, she's done hair braiding, she's decorated cakes, she eats salad with her fingers, dressing on or off. As you can see, some of the things are more practical than others, but she has done a great job at stewarding her gift and using a lot of discipline and devotion and dedication and building her skill and developing it into a truly refined skill. And I'm just proud of her for being a good steward with what she was given. And I hope you all enjoy the music that we get to share here today.
I wrote a few things down because there's a chance I don't get through this. And I need my glasses. Welcome to 47, or is it 46? I don't remember. So over the years, Angelina has really only consistently asked me for two things. Daddy, can I have a violin? And Daddy, can I have a horse? She fell in love with violin at a very young age, watching it played at our old church. A particular favorite CD that was on repeat in our house for half a decade, I think. And I got her the violin, of course. We got her the violin, of course, and I'll get to that in a minute. But the horse, well, she's asked literally hundreds of times. You're not getting a horse today. Okay? If that sounded like a setup for a horse walking in, no. That was Tristan's first birthday. At Tristan's first birthday, a horse ran up the driveway that had gotten loose from a neighboring farm. But I'm digressing. I'm very digressing. So she's asked for that horse literally hundreds of times, always hopeful, never begging, just calm, steady persistence. In fact, she even asked me again this summer after she turned 18, Daddy, can I have a horse? And as we celebrate her talent and her perseverance this afternoon, I think it's only fitting to recognize the fortitude, the determination, and the sheer willpower it's taken me to not buy the horse. Because she's worked on me. She has worked on me. She's going to end up with a horse someday. That guy's going to buy her a horse. I promise. So, back to the violin. When she was 8 or 9, this is 2016, Tristan, her oldest brother, was very into fitness. And he had one of those pull-up bars in the doorway. He's doing pull-ups all the time. He's getting shredded as a little 12-year-old. And Angelina's asking for this violin, and we're starting to talk about it at night, like, well, maybe we get her this violin, and she seems pretty serious about it. She's got a few years of asking for it. And so one of those asks, I said, honey, if you could do 10 pull-ups on that bar, we'll get you that violin. And over the course of weeks, maybe a couple months, she was on that bar every day, morning, noon, night, working on her pull-ups.
1, 2.
You can do it.
3. Yes, she can.
She knows she can.
4.
You'll hear the whole
Remember
family
to put your feet on the
involved.
stool if your hands are off. 1 more. You can do 2 more. Come on. Yes, do 2 more.
Stop.
What?
And on that fateful
Oh.
day,
Oh, yeah. Come on. You got it. Get your hands back on. 5. 5 more. Come on. 6. Do 1 more.
You're getting your hands on.
7. 3 more, Angelina. You got a violin.
Yes, you can.
Oh, you got that one. You can do 2 more.
Now, you can do 2 more. Yes, you can.
Get your hands on. Go up. 1 more and you got a violin, Angelina.
Do it.
Yes, you can. Try it. You can do it. You're going up. You are going up. We got it on video.
how about a round of applause for Tristan and Grace, the encouragers, too, huh? It was a family effort. A family effort. So 2 weeks later, I find myself here, looking at these at House of Note, and learning how much they cost. So we're going to pass the offering plate. Okay. So we bought the violin, right? And here we are today because of her perseverance and day after day, week after week, working really, 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 really hard. And it was that day at House of Note that someone gave me your name, Miss Cindy Uleman. And I think Angelina has some things to say later, so I won't steal her thunder. But what a blessing over the years. I'm going to get out of the way. Enjoy.
The next song Angelina is going to play will be on the piano, and the piano is something that's been important in Angelina's life. I told the kids growing up, you're building the person you're going to be, and piano is the first way that music became having a regular rhythm, having a place in the rhythm of her daily life, her weekly life. She learned how to practice, she learned how to prioritize. So piano throughout the last 10 years or so has been important to her. But she hasn't practiced with the same vigor, or really with any vigor, for the last 3 years. But it has had such an important part of her, important place in her life that she wanted to share it with you today. So this is one of her favorite songs from the last 5 years.
Okay. So next we have our intermission. Our intermission consists of two parts. First, Samuel Schwarzenegger, fantastic pianist and longtime family friend of ours, is going to give us a guest performance. While he does this, Paul and Gabe are going to hand everyone a slip of paper. Don't open the slip. Do not open the slip until I give you permission. No peeking. After that, I'll give you further instructions. Okay, so this activity we're about to do is not without context, nor is it original. I sadly did not come up with it. I was in GITSES, which is Greater Twin Cities Youth Symphonies, for 4 years. And my second year, we did this during one of our retreats. And though my conductor promised that we would do it again, we never did. So naturally, I've held onto a grudge for years, mostly. I'm kidding. But I did save the idea in case the opportunity ever came to bring it back, and it did. So credit goes to Mr. Gerber, my conductor at the time, for the idea. Now, this is a recital, which means music, which generally means instruments, right? But here's the twist. Your body is also an instrument. I mean, just look at Psalm 150, which goes through a list of many instruments to praise the Lord with, and ends with talking about even using your breath. And also, if you ever stubbed your toe and suddenly discovered you could hit the highest note of your life, you probably know that's true. You're probably wondering what the slip of paper you're holding contains, though. You'll find out in a second. But first, I want to encourage you to give it your all and don't be shy. It'll be fun. This might be the only time in your life you get to do something like this. So don't have any regrets, and don't worry if it sounds ridiculous. That's the whole point. Kids and anyone if they can't read, or if you forgot your readers, just look at the person closest to you and copy exactly what they're doing. So everyone can open their paper and start reading. I just wanted to get up here and say thank you to a few very influential people in my musical journey and in life. If I say your name, could you please stand up or wave or something just so people know who you are? Starting at the very beginning, Cindy, my very first violin teacher. You are so good at coming alongside your students, not only in their musical journey, but also in life, and you're so committed to excellence in all areas. Your level of dedication and care for each and every one of your students makes you not any ordinary teacher, but a friend and a family member. Thank you for the role you played in my musical development and for surviving my early violin years, which tend to sound like a baby dinosaur learning to scream. Connor, my current teacher, who has consistently held me to a higher standard than anyone else and pushed me to keep the bar high and raise it myself and then actually reach it. Thanks to you, I know that Mezzoland is never an acceptable place to be. Anyone who knows Connor knows that Connor has some pretty exceptional quotes. Yes, I do have a list. But sometimes he says things that apply to more than just music. One thing that stuck with me, I'll paraphrase it, but basically, if you know that you can do it right, don't wait until the second time. Get it right the first time and every time. Put in the focus and the mental energy to do it right every single time. So thank you, Connor, for pushing me not only in my playing, but knowledge of theory, which I admit I am still sorely lacking in, and imagination. Because honestly, no one beats you at analogies. You could probably compare a piece of bot to a grilled cheese sandwich, and it would somehow make sense. Dad, blue suit guy, who taught me the importance of hard work and discipline if you want to get good at anything. I mean, have you seen him fish? And he funded 10 years of a not very cheap hobby. I don't think when we made that pull-up deal, he was expecting it to be quite that big of an expense. I mean investment, obviously. 6 violins and around 420 lessons later, here we are. Your encouraging word or comment in passing that I was improving motivated me more than anyone else's. So, thank you. Mom, my very first teacher, not in just violin, but in life. Mom instilled a love of music in me from a young age. She is quite a musician herself. I mean, she almost became a professional oboist. And our house was always filled with all kinds of music growing up. She taught all of us kids piano as soon as we were old enough. And when you have 8 kids that only to practice multiple instruments, it pretty much guarantees never-ending music in practicing. She also had a major contribution in my violin career. She spent hours driving me to and from violin-related things, lessons, house of note, group classes, orchestra, and has been my faithful accompanist throughout the years. So basically, she's the unpaid Uber driver and unsung hero of my musical career. My siblings, who are pretty spread out, who've had to endure countless hours of practice. And those of you that has a sibling or know someone that plays violin knows that in the beginning it's not pretty. It's hardly even tolerable. It's a headache, quite literally. So thanks for your patience. And Matthias, who also plays the violin, very well I might add, he has had the immense privilege of getting whatever I was learning at the time passed on along to him, because I love to teach, so he had no choice but to learn. So thank you in particular for putting up with the trainer/drill sergeant version of me and for beta testing all my methods so that my students now get a much more refined version of my teaching. Grace, my oldest sister, who had to listen to the same CD I was obsessed with every single night for years. Same 16 songs on repeat. By the way, you heard numbers 1 and 8 from those CDs. They were actually the first set of pieces and the last piece I played. So, tonight you can finally see that torture was worth something. I hope. And then Whitney. Oh, okay. Where's Whitney? Brittany came with Mom to my long rehearsals every single week for 2 years, just to keep her company, and was my biggest hype girl for all my singing auditions. You were way more excited than I was. So thank you for your loyalty, moral support, and for being way more excited than I was for all of my auditions. Sylvie, who you also heard play today. Sylvie has been my musical partner and inspiration, actually, when I was starting violin. We've been tour roommates, stand partners, carpool buddies, duet collaborators, you name it. It's such a joy playing with you. Our styles complement each other so much, so thank you so much for playing with me. Mari, my partner in crime, she's sitting right there. Yep. We've made so much music together over the years. From the very first violin your uncle, if you could even call it a violin, there were like 2 strings on it. Your uncle gave you, yeah. To playing duets at recitals. And our music hasn't just been limited to violin, be it piano duets, violin duets, ukulele duets, belting songs in the car, singing harmonies, as you heard her up there, playing for church, you name it, we've done it. So thank you for being my partner in crime. Samuel, our pianist, thank you so much for learning this piece and playing with me. The last piece I played, that was like, my whole time I was learning violin, I was like, if I could play that piece and play it well at some point, I'd be happy. So, thank you so much for playing with me. We have very similar styles, and it's so fun to play with you. And then Gabe, thank you for being willing to learn and accompany me for the ukulele piece on such short notice. We played it the first time 2 days ago. So thank you for playing with me and hopefully masking my mistakes. The next person is probably not who you'd expect, and I actually don't know if she's here today. But I wouldn't be here today without her. So I want to thank Stephanie O'Brien, who was my physical therapist. I have myofascial pain in my left shoulder from basically playing violin too much. And the only actual fix would have been to stop playing. But since I obviously couldn't do that, she worked with me for a long time to get the pain under control. So thanks to her, I can play for more than 5 minutes at a time without my neck feeling like it was set on fire. And then lastly, big thank you to anybody who helped out here today, but particularly Evie, Bethany, Mrs. Anderson, Mrs. Sportsendruber, Paul, Luca, Lily, Monica Topman. So thank you all so much. Also, if you didn't notice, Mom sprained her wrist and she still set this whole thing up and played for me on multiple songs. So just wanted to put that out there. And then lastly, I want to thank every single one of you who showed up. It really means a lot to me that y'all are here. But I'll stop talking now so you can do what you really came here to do, which is eat cake.
Please eat lots and lots and lots of cake.